Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Lyons Den Quiz League. It is Season 11, Week number 3. After Week 2, I was second place in the entire league, so that's kind of where I am right now. Very solid performances in the first 2 weeks. I was second in Week 1 and 8th in Week 2. So hopefully we can, keep up the good performances this week. But there are definitely some tricky quizzes, so let's get into it. First of all, general knowledge quiz about want. Ignorance and want are two emaciated children that hide under the robes of one of the ghosts in what novella first published in the 19th of December, 1843? I have to assume that this is a Christmas Carol. I think the time period checks out for Dickens. The fact that they give you the December clue and it's a week before Christmas makes sense. And ghosts obviously are in a Christmas Carol. The other thought I had was like The Turn of the Screw by like Henry James, but I think that's later. And again, the December clue just feels like a Christmas Carol. The romantic comedy series Nobody Wants This describes the mismatched relationship between Joanne Williams, played by Kristen Bell, who is an agnostic sex and dating podcaster, and Noah Rocklove, played by Adam Brody, who has what profession? I don't know. I mean, I have no idea what this is. I mean, I want to say it's like maybe like a priest, just because like the whole agnostic sex and dating, the fact that it's mismatched is like you want to guess somebody who's very different from that. So I'm thinking it's something that's like religious. So priest is kind of the best guess that I have, but it could be anything like that, or could be something completely different. I don't know because I've never heard of this thing. What character in Greek myth was punished by the gods to forever stand below a fruit tree and next to a pool with the fruits and the water always just being out of reach? The character gives his name to a verb, meaning to torment someone by withholding from them something they want, and unrelatedly, an element, I can't read today, with atomic number 73. So these things are tantalize and tantalum. The character is Tantalus. Any of those answers is accepted, but yeah, Tantalus is the guy. Two decrees were passed by the Soviet government on the 8th of November 1917, representing the desires of the Russian populace. In Russian, these are the dekret, or I guess it's dekreti. I don't actually know. With this letter, I feel like this is normally silent, but the fact that it has a tail on it is like, I don't know. Anyway, I'll just say dekret or zemlia. I don't know what that letter is, which is the decree on land, and dekret or mirya, which is the decree on what. So mir is the Russian word for peace, as in Vojna i mir is the title of War and Peace in Russian. So mirya, I have to assume, means peace, and it's just some sort of like adjectival form or whatever of the word mir. I hope, at least. I mean, I think that's what you're supposed to figure out here. You have to figure out how to read the Cyrillic, and you have to figure out what it means, but I'm pretty sure that's what it means. Anyway, 1982 song by Bow Wow Wow featured 16-year-old Annabella Lwin singing that she wants what? The same word precedes Girl in a 1983 New Edition album and song in which they sing All I Want to Say When You're With Me, You Brighten Up My Day, and You Are My World, You Look So Sweet, You're a Special Treat. I just realized now that I didn't come up with a guess for this one. I don't know what this is, but I'm just going to pause real quick and see if I can come up with a reasonable guess in the next minute. Okay, I just came up with something and I feel like it might actually be right. I literally spent just a minute thinking about this. It was funny because I was thinking about it earlier and I couldn't think of anything. And then I just thought about it now and I was like, wait, I Want Candy is totally a song. Because before I was looking at like the lyrics and I was just thinking, oh, we're talking about like love. So maybe it's just like love or something, but I didn't feel very good about it. But I Want Candy is a song, and the whole You Look So Sweet, You're a Special Treat thing, maybe that's what that's cluing. I decided to kind of look at that part of the lyric and go down another train of thought, and I got here, and it's like, yeah, I'm thinking this actually makes sense. So last minute get there, maybe. We'll see, I might be wrong, but I actually feel pretty okay about that answer. In a technical demonstration, who said, Mr. Watson, come here, I want to see you, to his assistant, who was out of earshot at the time, yet heard the message. So Alexander Graham Bell, this is presumably the first thing that was said over the telephone. Why is my shift button? Hello. Anyway, Mr. Watson, I guess, is Bell's assistant, but I'm pretty sure I've heard something like this or some version of this anecdote before. But yeah, out of earshot, heard the message. Makes sense, right? Inventor of the telephone. So, as for what to enhance here, I'm not sure, actually. I think I go for peace, because I'm pretty sure Miria is, I think that means peace, and it's like that. Even if you can read Cyrillic, to be fair, a lot of people playing these quizzes will know how to do that. You still might not know the word for peace. So I think it's a pretty hard question. So we'll see. Peace is correct. Candy is correct. Let's go. Alexander Graham Bell, Tantalus, Rabbi. Ah, dang it. Okay, well, that's kind of annoying. So it is 5 out of 6. I guess priest instead of rabbi. It's like I did have the same, I did have the right idea there. It was a religious figure, but I guessed the wrong religion, which is unfortunate. But I'm pretty happy with 5 there, especially because I thought I was getting 4 until Candy came to me. So, quiz 2. This is the connections quiz. If you guys don't remember what this is, the idea is basically to figure out what is the thing that, the sort of bridge the connection between the 4 clues on the cards given. What connects these 4 clues? Henry Percy, White Hart Lane, Manu Ginobili, and Vaqueros. So Spurs is going to be the answer here. Manu Ginobili played for the San Antonio Spurs for a long time. White Hart Lane is the former home stadium of Tottenham Hotspur, also known as Spurs. And then Vaqueros is the Spanish word for cowboys, which have, cowboys have spurs on their boots. I have no idea who Henry Percy is, but doesn't matter because this has to be right. What connects these 4 clues? Leon Foucault, Newton's cradle, hypnotism, and the seismometer. First thing I think of here when I see Foucault is like Foucault's pendulum. It's a famous concept and also book by Umberto Eco. But pendulum, Newton's cradle is that thing where the ball hits the ball and then there's a series of them and then the other one goes up. You know what I'm talking about, or you don't. But anyway, and then hypnotism, you swing a pendulum in front of someone, and I guess a seismometer is a pendulum. I didn't actually know that, but it kind of makes sense. So that should be the answer there. What connects these 4 clues? Joe Calderone, Rose Celavi, Ali G, and Roman Zelensky. I've heard of exactly one of these. Rose Celavi, I think I think it's Marcel Duchamp. I think it's just some pseudonym that he used for, I don't know if it was for certain artworks or whatever, but I'm pretty sure that Duchamp had he just went by Rose Celavi in certain situations. I'm not really sure. I'm going to say pseudonyms because I feel like that's probably what's going on here. It might be artist pseudonyms or something, but it doesn't say to be specific, and it does in question 4. So I'm just going to go vague and say that they're pseudonyms of people, and hopefully that's enough, because I don't know what the others are. Question 4, what connects these 4 clues? Be specific. Now this one is annoying me because I feel like I know what's going on with most of the clues, but I still don't know what the connection is, and I'm out of time, and I'm just going to have to give up. But a red and yellow moth sounds like the poster for The Silence of the Lambs. The green glowing egg about to crack, I'm pretty sure, is the poster for Alien. And Jack Nicholson's face is the poster for The Shining, as far as I'm aware. But I have no idea what connects The Silence of the Lambs, Alien, and The Shining. And it says be specific, so I assume it's not just they're all movie posters. So, to be honest, I don't really know what to say here. I might just say movie posters anyway, and maybe the specific is just saying that they're movies, but that seems not specific enough. I feel like there's something specific that we're going for here, but I can't think of it. It's I don't think they were released in the same year or anything. They didn't all win the big 5 Oscars, because that's only Silence of the Lambs and a couple of other unrelated movies. Oh, it's Forrest Gump. Oh, that's what the third one is. Okay, so what is the connection here? I'm so confused because they don't have the same actors, they don't have the same directors. What connects these movies other than the fact that they're just movies? I don't know. I'm just gonna say movie posters. I've got nothing. What connects these 4 clues? Zoe Murphy, Eurydice, Mrs. Lovat, and Eliza Schuyler. So Eurydice is the lover of Orpheus from Greek myth. Eliza Schuyler is the wife of Alexander Hamilton. So what I'm thinking here is that these are lovers from musicals, maybe, because Hamilton the musical, obviously, and I'm pretty sure that Hadestown is based off of the Orpheus myth. So it seems like a clunky answer, but lovers of main characters from musicals? Music laws? I don't know what the first one and the third one are, so I kind of only have 2 and 4 to go off of here, but I don't really know anything about Eliza Schuyler in any other context, so it just kind of feels like this is the best that I'm going to get, and hopefully this is what they want, but I really am not sure about this. And finally, what connects these 4 clues? Paul is a real estate novelist who never had time for a wife. He's talking with Davy, who's still in the Navy and probably will be for life. John at the bar is a friend of mine, gets me my drinks for free. Makes me? Isn't it gets me? Anyway, and the waitress is practicing politics while the businessman slowly gets stoned. All of these are lyrics from Piano Man by Billy Joel. Very good song if you don't know it, but you probably do because it's quite a famous song. And yeah, As for what to enhance, I really don't know here. I don't feel good enough about 5, certainly not about 4 or about 3, to be honest, because I only know one of them and it could be like a different answer. Um, so I think I'll enhance maybe Spurs. Like 6 feels way too easy, and 2 to me feels easier than 1, but I'm not 100% sure. But I think this is just the best chance that I have. So we're just gonna see. I don't know. This is a tough quiz. Spurs, pendulums, alter egos. Ah, dang it. Oh, it's horror movies. Wait, what? It's horror movies? Wait, yeah, obviously. Wait, Silence of the Lambs. I'm being dumb, dude. What? What connects it? Well, obviously, Silence of the Lambs, Alien, and not Forrest Gump. It's Forrest. It must not be Forrest Gump. Why did I think it was Forrest Gump? Is it Forrest Gump? Forrest Gump isn't a horror movie, right? Okay, what's funny is that like how did I not I was saying, oh, what connects The Shining, Silence of the Lambs, and Alien? Like, duh, what? How did I not think of that? I was like, I was trying to connect the actors and the directors, and I didn't think that they're all horror movies. That seems really obvious. But then when I thought of Forrest Gump, I was like, well, I mean, even if I had thought of horror, I would have been like, oh, that's just wrong because I don't think that's a horror movie. But it must be a different movie. For some reason, I was feeling confident that the briefcase and the lamppost was Forrest Gump, but it might be something else. Anyway, I don't know, man. This kind of was a little bit of a train wreck. I think female leads in musicals may also be wrong. Um, Female leads. Leads meaning what? Not main character, right? Like, what does lead actually mean, right? Because like Eliza's not the main character in Hamilton, so like, is this okay? Like, I guess I'm probably wrong because at least one of them probably isn't a lover, but I just I don't know. Like I just said what I had, and I think I was close, but I think I'm probably not getting points for that either. So this is annoying because I got 3 of them, and I was very close on all of the other 3, but I failed all of them, which is really annoying because I don't think that pseudonyms is enough for alter egos. It's kind of a different thing. Um, and yeah, I don't even have an explanation. It's weird how your brain just blanks sometimes. I don't know how I didn't think of the fact that they were all horror movies, but I did. Yeah, I guess it's not Forrest Gump, but I don't know what it was, so unlucky. Jesus, that was a bit of a mess. That one, I did not do very well with that quiz. All right, the next one is about weird sports. The Cooper's Hill Blank Rolling and Wake is an annual competition taking place every year near Gloucester, UK, where the athletes race to be the first to catch what foodstuff, also making up the censored word of the competition's title, as it rolls down a 180-meter long hill. Due to the high speed of the contestants, uneven nature of the terrain, the event often sees several collisions and injuries, including the 2023 winner, who managed to win despite being knocked unconscious during the final stretch of the race. So this is the cheese rolling. This is an absolutely insane thing. Like, if you haven't seen a video of this, please go look it up. Like, it's absolutely bonkers. Like, it's like I don't even know how it's like allowed to happen because it's so ridiculously dangerous. But yeah, it's a wild ride. Question 2. In September 2025, streamer and FIDE master James Canty III showed off his pugilist chops by becoming a world champion in what sport, demanding a unique combination of mental and physical proficiency. One of the first mentions of this sport was in a 1979 Hong Kong film called The Mystery of This Sport. So chess boxing, I assume, is what's going on here. FIDE master being a very good chess player. And then chess boxing is like just that weird chess adjacent sport where you like play a move and then play a round of boxing or however the heck it works. Anyway, I've never like watched it, but I'm aware of its existence at least. Name that sport. A Brazilian sport combining elements of gymnastics and volleyball where the objective is to hit or kick a ball over a net in order to ground it on the opponent's side of the court. Although the name may bring your mind to a slow and relaxed form of samba music, the game itself is anything but, being played on an inflatable court incorporating a trampoline on each side of the field. So this question is annoying me because I'm aware of a form of beach volleyball that is played on beaches in Brazil where you can't use your hands, but it's called foot volley. Now, that is clearly not the answer to this question, and it seems to me like the only difference here is that there are trampolines in this one. But like, I thought it was just called foot volley. but like it says that the name should remind you of a form of samba music, so that's clearly not what's going on here. So I have to go ahead and guess something else. Now, samba music, slow and relaxed, that makes me think of bossa nova, because that's kind of the only Brazilian music genre I can name. So it's not just going to be called bossa nova. I'm just going to guess bossa, because nova just means new, and that seems like a weird name for a sport. So maybe the sport is just called bossa or something similar. I don't know. This is like the only thing I can go for. It's a complete guess, but I'm annoyed because again, it's like I feel like I kind of know this, but I don't know the form of it that has trampolines. So it's like, well, that sucks. Anyway, the number 4, the World Championship in Eukonkanto takes place every year in Sonkajärvi, Finland. In this sport, the objective is to carry what baggage through an obstacle course? The type of carry is decided by the competitors, with previous winners often employing the fireman's carry and the Estonian style to take home the grand prize, comprising the baggage's weight in beer. The baggage being the wife, because this is wife carrying. That's one of those, again, just kind of a famous weird sport. Just Finland being Finland, I guess. And of course, the prize is beer. Question 5. In another instance of the Brits inventing the most bonkers of sports, name the sport played on the court described by the schematics below. Both the classic name and the new name following recent controversies surrounding the sport's creator will be accepted. I have to imagine this is Quidditch. I mean, we have the 3 like dots at the end are the hoops, I suppose, that you throw the quaffle through, and then yeah, it looks reasonably shaped for a Quidditch court. Real life Quidditch is obviously just kind of stupid because you can't fly, so you just run around, except you have to have a broom between your legs, so people just look like idiots because they have brooms between their legs and it like limits their mobility, but otherwise you're just like throwing balls around. It's very silly. And speaking of silly, Quidditch itself, the entire concept of the sport, is incredibly idiotic. Again, I don't need to go down this rabbit hole again, but like, I mean, J.K. Rowling has other problems too, but like, could she seriously not spend a little more time to think of a sport that made at least an inkling of sense? Apparently not, because Quidditch is like, it has the dumbest rule set of any fictional sport ever invented. Anyway, question 6, lastly, name the Olympic sport in which, deja vu, athletes ride a small bobsled face down and head first down a frozen track at spooky velocities upwards of 130 kilometers per hour. The author of this quiz would like to advise the reader to not try this scary sport at home without significant training. Skeleton is what this is called. There's a few different kind of bobsledding sports, but the most kind of insane one is skeleton, where yes, they are head first going that fast, and it's like, I would never. That seems so unbelievably dangerous. But that is what it's called, and that's what the spooky clue is about. And as for what to enhance, cheese rolling is quite knowable. Chess boxing is knowable. Okay, these are all, I feel like these are all kind of knowable. 3 is probably the hardest, but like, I don't know the answer to it, so, man, I don't know. These are all like, these all feel very well known, to be honest. Maybe wife carrying? I don't know. I'll go ahead and enhance that, but I really don't know what to do here. Hopefully I at least get 5 out of 6 here. Bossa ball? Are you kidding me? Oh my god. As if, like, I was like, it's probably bossa nova. Like, that's probably what we're cluing here. I don't think I'll get credit for that. Maybe, if they're feeling nice. But I just guessed, like, I mean... yeah, I think I'm glad that my thought process led me close there, but again, I've never heard of that in my life. I thought it was called foot volley, so it's unfortunate, but everything else is correct, so that works. Quidditch apparently called quad ball now. I didn't actually know that, but yeah, most people I think are going to say Quidditch there. So 5 out of 6 on the pop culture quiz, which is nice. I mean, I guess it's sports, which is a little better for me than other pop culture, but still, 5 out of 6 is not so bad. Quiz 4. I'm going to get copyright claimed here. The week 1 video got demonetized and I was just like, whatever. But for this one, I will leave a link in the description, a Google Drive link to the clips of the songs themselves, so you can open those and listen along as you go, but I'm not going to play them in the video for copyright reasons. Who is the singer behind the 1969 karaoke staple that begins with these notes? That same year also saw the release of the self-titled 6th studio album of this singer's daughter. So, I am not sure, but I thought maybe Frank Sinatra, because I'm pretty sure he has a daughter. I think Nancy Sinatra is also a person who made music. And 1969, if she was releasing her sixth album in 1969, then this, the person in question is probably pretty old. So it makes sense that would be Frank Sinatra. I think that fits the time frame. But I've never actually heard the clip itself, so I am guessing here. Number 2, name the artist behind the 2018 song that begins with these gospel-inspired tunes. Another less controversial outing by this artist includes featuring in a 6-season TV show, which, to many fans' dismay, has yet to receive a movie. I don't know this one either. I think I've heard it before. Like, I played the clip and I recognized it, but I don't know what it's from. This one I can't really guess. I'm just going to say Justin Timberlake because that's a person who makes music, but I really don't know what's going on here. Question 3, what 2006 song begins with this iconic note? The 5-word title of the song also contains the name of the album it features on. So this one I do know. This is Welcome to the Black Parade by My Chemical Romance. I do not know a single other song by them, but this is a pretty famous song, and I am aware of the first note, so yeah. Question 4, what is the title of this 1985 song, which features Sting on falsetto vocals during the intro? Appropriately, this soundbite was also used by MTV as a credit title card. So the clip is like singing, it's Sting singing I Want My MTV, which is the intro to Money for Nothing by Dire Straits. Another very good song. Yeah, go listen to that if you haven't. Question 5, who is the singer of the 1987 pop song that begins with this beat? 20 years later, this song would see a new rise in popularity through video sharing and social media. You click the link, you get rickrolled for a few seconds. This is Rick Astley. This one's probably going to have like a 90+% get rate. This feels very knowable, but yep, that is the singer of that song, which is, of course, called Never Gonna Give You Up. And then question 6, what is the name of the 2002 hit anthem that starts with this piano tune? Contrary to what one may think, the singer has stated that the song is in no way inspired by a similarly themed 1988 hit by a Scottish band. Why can't I remember what it was? Hold on. Right, it was 1,000 Miles by Vanessa Carlton, I think her name is. Anyway, the Making My Way Downtown song, another one that's very, very knowable. This one's a little harder because you actually have to know the title of the song. But yeah, and then as for what to enhance, I think maybe 3 or 4, probably. I think maybe 4 is better. I think most people playing these quizzes tend to be younger, so they might be less familiar with Money for Nothing. So we'll go with that and see if it pays off. Frank Sinatra is correct. Good. Childish Gambino. No chance. Welcome to the Black Parade. Money for Nothing. Rick Astley and 1,000 Miles. That is 5 out of 6. Again, that works. I'm fine with that for a music quiz. I never would have gotten Childish Gambino. I know that This Is America is a super famous song, but I've never listened to it before, so I don't know how it goes. I guess it makes sense that I maybe have heard the clip before, but just couldn't place it. Quiz 5. This is all about women making breakthroughs in science. During a 9-month period in 1842 to 43, who translated the memoir of Italian mathematician Luigi Menabrea covering the analytical engine? The translation included Note G, the likely first computer algorithm that detailed a method for calculating Bernoulli numbers using the analytical engine. So the analytical engine was invented by Charles Babbage. The other person I associate closely with it is Ada Lovelace, who is the daughter of Lord Byron, I think, which is kind of a fun fact about her. But yeah, she was sort of one of the early computer scientists. Question 2, Elizabeth Blackburn and Carol W. Greider were part of a team that co-discovered an enzyme that replenishes what structure found at the ends of chromosomes, which protects the DNA in the rest of the chromosome from damage. Shortening of this structure is one of the major parts of biological aging, as well as a natural defense against cancer. So I don't know. I don't know biology well enough. I mean, I certainly would have known this, like, when I was taking high school biology, but that was way too long ago. And I never liked biology much anyway, so it's not something I know a lot about. I'm going to say chromatin, because I know that that is a word that's associated with this stuff, but it's probably the wrong word. But it's the best I've got. The APGAR score is an assessment conducted by health professionals to evaluate the health of all newborn humans at 1 and 5 minutes after birth. Developed by Virginia Apgar, an anesthesiologist at Columbia in 1952, the APGAR score has since become a backronym to honor its creator. APGAR scores assess the appearance, pulse, grimace, activity, and what-fifth quantity measured by the strength and robustness of a newborn's cry. I believe the word is respiration. I'm not positive, but like I've looked up what this acronym is before and like kind of forgotten it and remembered it again, kind of thing. But I think respiration is the R. The cry like makes me a little scared because it's like that sounds, I don't know, like to me it sounds like the clue is more talking about like the volume, but like the cry is the breathing, right? Like if the baby doesn't cry, the baby isn't breathing. So I think that is what's going on here, but I'm a little scared that it's wrong. Number four, the galaxy rotation problem, a discrepancy between the predicted and observed angular motion of galaxies, and a major piece of evidence for the presence of dark matter in the universe was discovered during observations of galactic rotation curves in the 1970s by whom? The Large Synoptic Survey Telescope in Chile was named after this Georgetown and Carnegie Institution astronomer after her death. So the famous telescope in Chile is called the Vera Rubin Observatory, so I have to assume that this is the one, unless there's another observatory in Chile named after a woman. But this one is, I think, the most famous one of that kind anyway, so it should be correct, I hope. Question 5. Danish physicist Lena Howe led a Harvard team using a Bose-Einstein condensate to slow down what phenomenon to approximately 17 meters per second, and in 2001 managed to stop it completely. To me, this is a kind of a coin flip between light and sound, because it feels like slowing down a phenomenon, it just kind of sounds like the speed of light or speed of sound, but like, yeah, anyway, apparently you can slow down these things. I don't know. Maybe it's something completely different, but it kind of feels like light or sound. I'll say light. It could be sound. I don't really have a good way to tell one or the other, but maybe slowing down light is more impressive, so maybe that's what the answer would be. I don't know. Does that make any sense? I'm guessing. I mean, it's a 50-50. And finally, what Austrian-American scientist and actress developed a mechanism for radio guidance systems which use spread spectrum and frequency hopping technology to defeat the threat of jamming by the Axis forces during World War II? The principles of this discovery are now applied into modern Wi-Fi and Bluetooth technology. Hedy Lamarr, I believe is her name. I don't think this is very easy, but Austrian-American scientist and actress, I think that is who she is. I hope I'm not confusing her with someone else, but I think that this is correct. So, for what to enhance, I think I will go with Hedy Lamarr. I think that is probably the hardest. I think Vera Rubin isn't easy either, but it's maybe a little more knowable. But maybe I'm off base with that assumption. So let's see. Hedy Lamarr, light, good. Rubin, respiration, telomeres. Yeah, okay, sure. And Lovelace. So another 5 out of 6. Again, totally fine with that result. Telomeres, that's the skill issue. Like, I should know what that is, but I just don't remember the freaking, like, million different terms for, like, cell biology stuff. So I just, I wasn't going to get there. But, yeah, it makes sense. All right. This one. Oh, my God. Okay. So I have always made a point to mention, like, all the time that I don't know years when it comes to history. It's like, I don't really have much of a mental timeline. I don't really know what things happened before and after what other things. And I definitely don't know the specific years of pretty much anything unless it's like really, really famous. It's just kind of not how my brain works. I've never thought in that sort of way, like the whole just associating things with years. And you have other people who are like, oh, yeah, like this movie came out in 1978. I'm like, why do you know that? How do you know that? Like, I don't understand how people memorize things by years because it's just, it doesn't compute in my head really. This is just a prelude to like saying I'm basically just going to be guessing on all of these because I don't know the years of anything. I just have kind of a vague idea usually of when things were. So this is going to put that to the test. Name any year in the lifetime of Peter I, better known as Peter the Great, the Tsar of all Russia. Other events that occurred during Peter's lifetime include the publishing of Principia Mathematica by Sir Isaac Newton, Thomas Savery demonstrating the first steam engine to the Royal Society, and the first shipment of coffee from Java reaching Amsterdam. Now, again, I don't know. I associate Isaac Newton with like I think like late 16, early 1700s is roughly when he lived. I think that would probably fit for the whole like Dutch colonies in Indonesia thing. But again, it's really like, I'm just not sure. And then Peter the Great, again, I think he's around that time. Like I would think early 1700s. But I'm just not sure at all. Like, like really at all. I'm going to say 1710 for this and just kind of pray that that's close. Again, I really don't know for any of these. This is going to be my explanation for all of them. It's just like I'm just trying to vibe it. Name any year in the lifetime of Odoacer, a barbarian soldier who deposed the last Western Roman Emperor, Romulus Augustulus. Other events that occurred during Odoacer's lifetime include the writing of the City of God by St. Augustine, Clovis the First. God, why can I not speak? Clovis the First becoming the king of the Franks, and the Hopewell tradition coming to an end in North America. So Odoacer, again, ended the Western Roman Empire. I'm pretty sure it was in the 400s. The problem is I don't know when. I want to say it's around like 450-ish when the Western Roman Empire fell. So I'm gonna say like 430 because I want to guess a year that's like before that because Odoacer, like, obviously he had to grow up first, and he might have died like relatively soon after the whole conquest thing happened. So I'm like, I want to guess early rather than guessing late, if that makes sense. So if the conquest was around 450, I'm thinking, yeah, he was probably alive in 430. So that's kind of where I'm going with that, but I might be off base. Question 3. Name any year in the lifetime of Ibn Battuta, a Maghrebi Muslim traveler who, over a period of 30 years, visited much of Africa, Asia, and the Iberian Peninsula. Other events that occurred during his lifetime include Dante's writing of the Divine Comedy, the establishment of the Ayutthaya Kingdom by Ramatibodi I, and the sale of the Duchy of Estonia to the Teutonic Order by King Valdemar IV of Denmark. So, I don't know when Ibn Battuta lived. I don't know when the freaking Teutonic Order thing happened. The others I have kind of a sense. I'm quite sure that the Ayutthaya Kingdom was founded in the 14th century, in the 1300s, because this came up very recently to me in a trivia league. I think it was like 13. Thing is, I don't remember. I think it was like mid 1300s to mid 1700s. I remember it being like roughly 400 years, but it's like the years just go in one ear and out the other. Like I don't remember the specifics, unfortunately. So I think I might just go with like 1350 here, and then hope that that's close. I mean, again, I don't know, but this is the only one where I feel like I even have anything concrete to latch onto just because I saw the years of the Ayutthaya Kingdom like a few days ago. That's the only reason that I feel like I even have a chance here. But the rest of these I'm really just vibing. So yeah, this is just so hard for me. Number 4, name any year in the lifetime of Oda Nobunaga, a Japanese daimyo and leader during the Sengoku and Azuchi Monoyama periods. Nobunaga was considered the first great unifier of Japan, alongside Toyotomi Hideyoshi and Tokugawa Ieyasu. Other events that occurred during his lifetime include the founding of the Jesuit order during the reign of Pope Paul III, Copernicus publishing his theory on heliocentrism, Suleiman the Magnificent, Sultan of the Ottoman Empire. My God, what is wrong with me? I can't read today. Ottoman Empire dies before the Battle of Sigadvar. I'm speaking in tongues for some reason. Okay, so the only thing here that I have a sense for is Copernicus. I feel like the rest of these, I don't really have a sense at all for when these things happened. Copernicus, I think, was like, I want to say 1500s, but I could be wrong. He might be 1600s, although like the one before already was, so maybe it's going to be farther from that. Anyway, I don't think he's as early as the 1400s. Like, I want to say Copernicus is 1500s, but I don't know when, really, to be quite honest. I'll say 1560. And again, we'll just kind of hope for the best here. Name any year in the lifetime of Eric the Red, a Norse explorer and possibly the settler of the first European settlement in Greenland. Other events that occurred during his lifetime include the establishment of the Fatimid Caliphate in North America, lions becoming extinct in Europe with the last dying in the Caucasus, and the Toltec culture being established in what is now the state of Hidalgo, Mexico. So Eric the Red, the others I don't know, or don't have a sense for. I kind of associate the... what's it called? The Vikings going west. I kind of associate that with around like the 11th century, like 1000 to 1100 kind of time. But again, I'm guessing, like, I'm not sure. But Eric the Red, again, I'm gonna guess like probably 1050 for this. Is roughly where my brain thinks this is, but it could be a little bit earlier or later. Obviously, that's true of all of these. But yeah, 1050 is the best I have here. And name any year in the lifetime of Wilhelm Röntgen, a German experimental physicist who produced and detected X-rays. Other events that occurred during his lifetime include the invention of barbed wire, the founding of the Theosophical Society by Helena Blavatsky, and the globally first enactment of women's suffrage by New Zealand. Don't know, but I know he's more recent, so this is probably more likely to be correct. I'll say 1900. I think turn of the century, or yeah, turn of the century is 20th century is roughly correct here. Like, I know that he was, again, like, I think that he was doing science of it. Like, dude, I can't even talk. My brain, I don't know what's wrong with my brain today. Like, I cannot put a sentence together right now, and I'm sorry. Like, this is way worse than normal. Um, like, I'm trying to explain what I'm thinking here, and it's like I can't even complete a sentence. But like all of the early sort of like atomic physicist kind of people I associate with sort of 1900, 1910, that kind of era. So if he was doing stuff in that era, then he was surely alive a little bit before it, if that makes sense. So I think 1900 just makes sense. There's no way he was born post 1900, because that wouldn't make sense at all. And I think that I just don't think that he was dead by 1900 either. I mean, maybe it's safer to go like 1890 here now that I think about it. But okay, I'm gonna go 1890 because this, I don't know, it's maybe a little bit safer than 1900, because he could have been dead by 1900 if my idea of his life is really wrong. But anyway, that one feels easier because it's more recent, so I don't think I want to enhance it. I may go for 3 just because I'm fairly certain that the Ayutthaya Kingdom was founded in like the mid 1300s. The thing is, you don't, the events that are listed, you don't know when in the lifetime that they happened, so like they could be kind of at the edge and you could still be in danger, even if you like know the year or close to the year of one of the other 3 things. But anyway, that quiz was a whole lot of yapping and a whole lot of I don't know what the heck this is. I'm just gonna punt and hope that I'm close, because that's just kind of what happens with year quizzes. Yeah, I don't love the concept, but I think it's just I think it's fair enough. Name any year is it's lenient enough that it's like, okay, this is a fair concept for a quiz. I just suck at it, so that's why it's annoying to me. But yeah, we're just gonna see. I'll try and remember what my answers were. So 1710, 430, 1350, 1560, 1050, and 1890. Here we go. Let's find out. Is that a bridge there? Looks like one. Apparently not. Dude, really? Does that count? I guess it does, yeah. Okay. 17, I said 1710, that's fine. I said 430, that's so annoying. That's so annoying, dude. I thought that the conquest was around 450, so I went 20 years earlier, but it must have been a little later than that. That sucks. All right. 1304 to 1369. Which question was this? Oh my god, I can't remember. What was the 1300s one? Oh my god. I said 1050 for 5. That's wrong. I said 1560, I think, for 4. So that's fine. I was totally fine either way on question 6. And then, oh right, 3 was the one I enhanced. Duh, it was the Ayutthaya one. I said 1350. Yeah, so I'm good. That's actually 4 out of 6. Like, I'll take that. I'll genuinely take that. Like, probably, I mean, could and maybe should have been better if I was just better at this kind of thing. But I'm so bad with years that I think this is a fine result, because it's just really, really, really tough. All right. Quiz 7. It is a literature quiz. Number 1, the novel So Big is by Edna Ferber, who also wrote what best-selling 1926 novel about performers and deck workers on a ship called The Cotton Blossom. The novel became a 1927 musical that gave us the standards Old Man River and Can't Help Lovin' That Man. No idea what this is at all. Like, I've tried to think of something or anything that could make sense, and I have no clue. Maybe you're supposed to know the musical, or maybe the novel's more well-known than I think, but I have no clue what this is. This stuff, it all sounds kind of like African-American spiritual-y to me, so I'm going to say, like, I think that this is a thing, Brer Rabbit and the Tar Baby. I think this is like an old folk tale, or I don't know if it's a novel though. Like, again, this is a guess because I can't think of anything else, and also I don't know what this would have to do with performers and deck workers. So I think the chance that this is correct is about like 1%, but I got nothing else. Like, I genuinely don't know what this is, and I just can't think of it. So unlucky. Normally good at literature, but that one's just, I don't know. Measuring 7.76 meters across by 3.49 meters tall and hanging in the Museo Reina Sofia in Madrid, what massive grayscale anti-war painting features a gored horse, screaming women, flames, and other broadly horrific images? This is, of course, Guernica by Pablo Picasso. I guess I said it's a literature quiz. It's not a 100% literature quiz, but it's mostly, anyway, arts and lit still. But yeah, Guernica is, I think, fairly straightforward. It's quite a famous painting. Number 3, François Rabelais followed up his 1532 novel Pantagruel with what 1534 comic novel whose name is the one-word name of the title giant. The giant's name comes possibly from a Spanish word for throat and can be made into an adjective meaning astoundingly big. So gargantuan or gargantua. The giant is Gargantua. They're, I think, by far most commonly referred to together, Gargantua and Pantagruel. So it's like if you know Pantagruel, you're going to know what Gargantua is. But yeah, that's just the thing that Rabelais is famous for. Number 4, two vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert is an excerpt from what poem by Percy Bysshe Shelley that uses the Greek name for Ramses II as the title. This is called Ozymandias. It's also the namesake of a Breaking Bad episode, but yeah, pretty famous poem. Not easy though. Like you kind of just have to know it because you're not gonna guess it if you haven't heard of the poem. But yeah, it's just called Ozymandias. Number 5, the work commonly translated as Dream of the Red Chamber has been so popular that it has spawned an entire field of study, Redology. The vast majority of the academic institutions studying Redology are located in what country where the book was written? So Dream of the Red Chamber is one of the 4 classic Chinese novels. The others being Journey to the West, Romance of the Three Kingdoms, and Water Margin. But yeah, Dream of the Red Chamber is a Chinese novel. Number 6, what mythical creature described in chapter 41 of Job is also the name of a monumental exhibit by Anish Kapoor, formed of 35-meter high interconnected balloons, and a 1651 philosophical work on society that sets out to describe what makes a government legitimate. So Leviathan is definitely the philosophical thing being described here by Thomas Hobbes. The Leviathan is a biblical thing too. It's not, I don't know. I mean, I don't know Bible things. I don't know what it is. I think it's just like a sea monster or something, but I'm not sure. And I've never heard of the Anish Kapoor thing, but you know, it would make sense. So yeah, I will enhance 4 because I think it's definitely the hardest of the ones that I have for sure. Again, I don't know number 1. The rest of these I feel good about though, so I think this should be 5 out of 6 at least. Well, I say at least, it's going to be 5 out of 6 realistically, but we'll see. Leviathan, China, Ozymandias, Gargantua, Guernica, and Showboat. Yeah, never ever getting that. I have heard of it. I think I've heard of it in the context of the musical, so you probably do have to know the musical, or at least that's the easiest way to get it, but I don't know musicals because I don't really care for musicals, so it makes sense that I'm not getting that. But yeah, not such a bad performance overall. I think there were a couple quizzes that were a little bit rough. I think that the connections one in particular was one where I left several points on the table, and I was close on all those connections, but again, just kind of failed on them. So that is annoying. But yeah, I mean, that's I think it's still a decent week. So we shall see in 6 minutes. I mean, it'll be instantaneous for you guys. But the scores will be coming in soon. Sorry that I was, like, not able to talk in this video. I don't know what's wrong with me right now. But, I don't know. I guess I'm tired or something. But, yeah, I'll see you guys in a sec, and we'll see how I did on the quizzes. All right, the scores are in, and I'm actually first, which I did not expect at all. To be fair, I didn't have a sense for how people were doing because the standings hadn't been updated in a long time. But I was given more points than I expected to be given on the connections quiz. I got 5 point something, and I thought I was going to get 3 point something. So I think that the musicals one was accepted, and the whatever the other one was. Let me check one more time. Right, the alter egos. He must have given me credit for pseudonyms, which I didn't expect, honestly, because it didn't seem quite correct. I didn't mention horror, so that has to be the one that I got wrong. But I think 3 and 5 I was given credit for, so I really wasn't sure that I would be. But yeah, that works. I'm happy with that, obviously. And then the rest of the quizzes went pretty well. I didn't get 6 on any of them, but I got 5 on most of them, I think. So yeah, in the end, not so bad. And that takes me to, I believe, first place on the season by quite a bit, too, which is kind of crazy. I mean, I think some of the best players in the league are also writing for the league, so like their scores are getting bumped down a little bit because they're like can't play their own quizzes kind of thing. But still, I mean, the fact that I'm first after 3 weeks is pretty darn good given how good a lot of the people playing these are. So, yeah, happy with that for sure. And that's going to be it for me for the day. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching another week of the LDQL. And yeah, that's all I've got for you. But I'll see you again soon for week 4. Until then.